Sir, you informed us that the Office of the Accountant General took you out of town
No, they didn't
to
take us.
Ghana as well as to VI to discuss this. But the agreement you have here that you submitted to us, right, though not stamped, just indicated that one Aderemi ED, I think, signed for yourself, and somebody else. The Office of the AG, of the Accountant General, did not sign this. Is it safe to agree or to conclude that this is just a paddy deal or agreement that has nothing to do with the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
Okay. Okay. So to fulfill the obligation of the TSA, it therefore means that there will be an ecosystem, and part of the ecosystem was that the CBN, working with System Spec, will create a product for the banks to latch onto. That's why I said the API. So the product, that software and the algorithm, belongs to System Spec, and the name they gave it is Remita. So for the banks to use that product to work with the CBN, OAGF, and every other person to fulfill the TSA objective, we therefore had to buy the product, so to speak. So in buying the product...
Sorry, Oga. You see, all these things that you are taking us through, right, are not what I want to hear. You are conversant with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria when it comes to money, that the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, right, is the one we will ask questions when it comes to things like this. You've collected monies on behalf of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The agreement with the Federal Republic of Nigeria for you to collect money on its behalf is what I'm asking for. This one that you've given to us does not show anything like that.
Okay, thanks for that clarification. So our regulator, working with the OAGF, by this circular, mandated us to collect money on behalf of OAGF and Federal Government of Nigeria. As such, we didn't require to go sign an agreement with the OAGF. So our regulator, acting on behalf of government and regulating us, directed us to collect it. So I don't know if that answers your question, sir.
Well, it doesn't really answer it because, incidentally, you are not the first bank that's making an appearance here. And there has been a standard. And if you look at the term of the investigation very well, non-adherence with service level agreements. But that's a matter that we'll take up at another level. Yes, Honorable Timani, please.
Chairman, thank you for this. I can see that the first set of questions were basically foundational. But agreement. But let us go to the transaction itself. Because we are looking at leakages. And it's very important for us to understand the transaction dynamics of this business. How did the money move? How is it paid from the primary source to the secondary source, which is yourself, and to the last source, which is TSA? Tell us how it moves. That's number one. Number two, it will be very expedient for the Accountant General to tell us how many times do you go to look at their books, whether there are leakages or not? How do you monitor it? And from your office? Because here it is important for us to understand, like I said the other day, that we might at the end of the day get a forensic auditor to actually look at, because I understand banking systems are on liquidity. Many of these banks rely on these funds to sustain their liquidity. This I know. So it will be at the end of the day, that is where we will go. But that's why I'm asking the Accountant General to tell us, how often do you monitor these accounts That's why I said it's important for me to understand the transaction dynamics of it. The account you opened in your office that the money goes into, who monitors it? Who operates the account? So all this is let us know. Maybe you can enlighten me more.
I think your question is in two parts, one for the bank and the other for the OAGF. So I would invite my colleague, Emmanuel, who is in charge of the process end-to-end, to explain the transaction pattern and dynamics. Emmanuel, over to you.
Honorable members of the House, the transaction dynamics begins with customers who want to pay money to government coffers. And from the comfort of their home, they generate what we call the RRR, which is Remita Retrieval Reference. Once they have generated this reference, the RRR includes the MDA they are paying to, how much they are paying. And if they are required to pay fees, it would also be generated there. So once they bring this to the banking hall, all our branches, according to the directive, are configured on Remita to receive these payments. So once they bring it to the banking hall, there are two methods, either cash or direct debit. That is when the customers are our customers. So once they come to the banking hall and submit this retrieval reference, we log on to the Remita portal and accept these transactions. Accept the cash or debit the customer. And then we push it on the Remita platform. Now, every branch has a transit account for Remita processing. So these funds, either cash or direct debit, goes into those accounts. And it is swept daily, immediately daily, by system specs via automation. So once you have submitted on the Remita portal, an automated information is sent to system spec system, and they come to debit that transit account, sweep it to the MDA's account in CBN. That is the process, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now, I have two following questions. Now, the transit accounts, I understand very well. Even the common, I have account with Fidelity. In some occasions, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, the systems are down. So how do you say you sweep daily? How do you cover up that? And you are now saying that, okay, the Remita, the command, yes, your system from their office to your office.
It's an automated process from their office.
Without interference?
Without any manual interference, sir.
From all your branches?
Yes, sir.
Who operates the transit account?
The transit account is open.
In your own, it is transit account. In some places, it's sundry account. So, who operates it? Who monitors them?
All branches monitor the transit accounts.
That is Fidelity monitors the account.
Yes, sir.
No external body comes to monitor them. Like Nigeria comes to monitor, look at them. Even setback.
Okay. Yeah.
Question there.
When is there a follow-up to this?
Just a follow-up to this question. When your system is down in your bank, because you use the word immediately, you sweep immediately. When your system is down and you cannot operate within your bank, how do you now sweep immediately when your system cannot allow you to do any transaction?
Honorable member of the House.
Thank you, Chair. I am thinking in my mind, when you how you get your share of the fee. I'm trying to reconcile the 789 there and your 252 here. So how do you get your fee? Is it that everything is swept and then you are paid, or it is swept less your fees? And then maybe you want to reconcile these two figures, how they relate. Thank you.
Sorry, before you answer, just a follow-up. So in your submission, the fees earned is inclusive of VAT. And in the sharing, part of the VAT was also shared to you, but you didn't submit evidence of remittances of the VAT to the tax authority. Why?
Okay, so you said you have pending issues on figures, reconciliation with system specs.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what are the issues?
The specific issues will be taken by my colleague. If
Okay,
you
let
permit me,
him
Chairman.
take it. I'm coming, Honorable Eko.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. The issues we submitted to the House were two issues. The first thing was the automation of their transactions to directly take the funds from the portal itself. Okay, so what happens with the system is that the system is a standalone. We collect the funds on our core banking and then log on to the system to put in the transaction. So yes, there's a communication that tells them that we have secured the funds, but we expect that eventually we should be able to get an automation that right there on the portal, just like we have for NIP and other systems, that right there on the portal, as you put in the transactions, it debits from the portal. So that's one. Then the second item we mentioned was availability of data for reconciliation. There's early archiving and all of that, and because there's a specific reference using the RRR, some of these reconciliations give us challenges. So those are the two things we spoke to. Okay.
So from the information provided by my colleagues, pre-2018, right, we had fee reconciliation issues with system spec, some of which are still outstanding. Because at that time, we're not taking any fee. Okay, because I think the matter was
2015, 2016, 2017, you were not earning any fee from the transaction?
Yes, because there was a case on it with the federal government or so. So 2018, we now resumed, with the new fee of 150 naira per transaction. And the sharing of that 150 was 42 banks, and the rest was being shared with system spec. So from 2018 to date, we've not had any reconciliation issues on the fees. But prior to that, when we're not taking and we're just
and those issues are yet to be resolved?
Totally, yes.
Would that be, Chairman, would those issues be because you didn't have a contract? Because you entered into this contract in 2017. So if you were expecting anything from 2015, it will be unjustifiable on your own part because you didn't have contract.
I'm not primed to...
No, I'm just saying.
Okay.
You wanted to operate on freebies. You operated on freebies because the only contract you had was from the 15th of March 2017. Anything before then, you were operating illegally, according to the law. So you had no reason to even file anything to try to get something because you decided to do pro bono.
And maybe I should also ask for the specifics of how much you indicated the fees you earn. How much is in dispute that you are still expecting that will be paid to you by the system specs for those 3 years, 2015, 2016, 2017?
I don't have the figures here with me, but we can make that available.
Yeah, make them available. So the figures you collected in 2015, 2016, so how were they calculated since you had no contract with them?
Yeah, so
were they like arbitrary award of figures? Okay.
Arbitrary.
So how were they calculated?
My colleague Richard will speak to that because he has information.
At the sessions, there was an agreement, like Honorable said, possibly verbal.
At which of the sessions, Ghana or Victoria Island?
Both of the sessions. Sir.
Both, okay.
It was agreed that 40% of the fees, 1% was, or whatever they were going to earn, was supposed to be paid to the banks. And I think that was basically what the banks were expecting. But like he said, nothing was forthcoming until that agreement was signed in 2017.
Okay, you can't say nothing was forthcoming. You indicated here that you earned fees in 2015, 2016, 2017. So it's not that nothing was forthcoming.
Nothing was. That's what when they started making those payments, that is part of the challenge that was, that we had. On what basis were those done? So we actually have a reconciliation that is ongoing with them on that.
Honorable Leko.
Yes, you are collecting VAT on behalf of federal government, and you said you make a periodic payment back to government. So, you know, why we're asking most of these questions is because there are not backup documentation to back up all this. If documents are here, we wouldn't have been asking. So I want to know, periodic means a lot. What is the time frame? Is it every week? Every week will be periodic. Every month could be periodic, or after three months. So I want to know specifically what is the period in between that you remit these funds to government, and we also want an evidence, documentary evidence of that documentation, and more importantly, the percentage, the sharing. We also need documentation to back up all this, explanation. Till now, is there any written document to any government agency or authority that your bank indicated that you have these issues, and the issues or challenges are specifically outlined so that we should be able to see those documents and rely on them, not just by saying. So we want to see from the period whereby you said you have challenges, we want to see where you outline those challenges and to which authority to back up your explanation. Thank you very much.
So you cannot look out for leakages. I think what we should be looking at here is you have an established agreement within you and the federal government and system spec, right? So what we should be looking at, the figures you are giving us, since there's an established agreement of what should come to you, what should come to Fidelity Bank, let us look at it, and you charge per transaction, right? So now, based on your presentation here, let us look at the number of transactions you have done, whether it tallies with what you earn. Do you understand? Because if you look at it, each of them varies. That's what we should do here. That's all. You understand? So take us through how you arrive at this fee you earn. I'm sure you earn other fee, not only the Remita. That's what we should be looking at here, Chairman. So you take us through how you earn your fee.
I'm Doda Zakaria Nyampa, member of this committee, member representing the people of Madagali, Michika Federal Constituency. ED, I'm so concerned we are looking at the revenue leakages that's supposed to come into the government account. But by your submission, you have agreement with system spec and you have instruction from the central bank. Now, if central bank gave you an instruction, collect this revenue on our behalf, what agreement do you have with system spec? Because in this regard, you go into contract with any party because there is a service you render to them. There is what we expect as consideration from the party you go into agreement. What particular interest do you think by going into agreement with system spec alone will yield? And why do you think that you need to go into that agreement with system spec? Because I assume, Mr. Chairman, that the whole agreement of Remita or system spec is with the federal government, CBN. But in this case, there's also an agreement between System Spec alone and Fidelity Bank. So it's my concern that I feel they should address
Okay,
it.
yeah, but all the banks actually have this agreement with System Spec because like not really, well, we can call it tripartite if we regard all other parties as government and we regard System Spec as a party and then the banks as another party. So they have, that's why it's service level agreement. So their own agreement with System Specs is strictly between them. It's a contract between them that doesn't have to do with the government. But from what they have indicated now, they didn't have that agreement until 2017. So the ones they had from 2015 to 2017 was based mainly on trust, as it were.
What necessitates the agreement?
You said?
What necessitates the agreement?
What necessitates the agreement between?
Between them and System Spec.
It is the service that they want to render. They are to collect fees for government.
Is the CBN that instructed them to collect the fee?
Well, I don't understand. But what I'm saying is that now CBN instructed that all MDAs should use the Remita platform.
Yes, sir.
The instruction that they said the CBN gave them, to me, is just a way of, if you are doing business, if CBN did not instruct you, and you are, or rather, if the CBN said you should collect the fees, and you are not interested in that service, couldn't you have said no? You could have. Yes, you could have. I'm not sure that it's banned because it's a service, and you are a bank. You can, so you're a commercial bank, you are a deposit money bank. So but you are interested in the business. That's what I'm just going with. The word compel is just trying to look good. I mean, it's business. You are earning money, so it's something that you will also lobby to have. So the agreement that they have with System Specs is regarding the service they are to render and the fees that they are to earn for rendering that service. I don't know, Honorable, whether you get the point. Okay, I was thinking they should just answer these three questions first, and then we can take any other one.
We're bound by law to remit at least in a given financial year, which the bank complies with. And we have evidences to that effect, which we can provide to the honorable members of the House of Assembly.
Okay, you provide us with evidence of the remittance of the VAT collected on this particular service.
Yes.
Not all VATs.
Yes.
The one on this particular service, you provide us with evidence of the VATs collected and remitted from 2015 till date.
Okay. So yes, in our VAT remittances, we have attached schedules, so we'll provide the information.
Thank you.
The second one is the fee earning structure. Okay, so I'll allow my colleague Emmanuel to speak about those fees. Okay, for each of the years and how we came about the amount. Thank you. So after that, I will now address Honorable's TSA structure and all of that, which you graciously helped us to answer to a large extent.
Thank you.
Sorry,
Okay.
he mentioned something that has to do with escalating the issues. The issues with Remita, if you had escalated it to either CBN or Accountant General's office.
So our head of operations, who has the helicopter view, would help me answer that. Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, honorable members of the House. We actually wrote system specs on the transaction processing, which my colleague tried to explain before, and we have evidences of those letters, which we can also submit to the House.
All right.
Yeah, I also want to clarify, you were asking that we should bring the evidences of the VAT we paid on these collections. Now, the VATs, they are paid in bulk, because the bank has just one VAT account. So as the commissions come to us, system automatically takes out the VAT back to the VAT account. So we don't have a separate VAT account for TSA transaction. So all the VAT collected by the bank enters into one account. But If you look at that, the statement, as the income comes, the fee comes to us, system automatically takes out the VAT part back to the bank VAT collection account.
How do you then prepare the account for these TSA transactions if the VAT goes with other VATs? How do you prepare the accounts that has to do with the TSA transactions?
Yeah, answer the question. If you say they are all lumped up.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's asking, so how do you account for the VAT on the TSA transaction?
Well, the system spec has different transactions, not just only TSA. Even the income, even the commission that comes to us, not only TSA. So as they come.
No. You see, we want to take. There's somewhere that we want you to take us on this issue. The bank has admitted that you send the VAT component of this transaction, you remit them separately. And I asked that question thrice.
No,
and you said,
not separately.
Don't say no. Don't say no. You are already on record. You are recorded, the ED.
Yes.
That was what you told me. You told the committee, please. You said you remit the VAT component of this transaction separately. So, and we asked you to provide us with the evidence of the remittance, and you came back again to say, well, it will be difficult because they are all in bulk. There is, so don't create confusion. The ones you remit, the VAT component you remitted on this 1,880,971,267,000 is what we're asking for. The VAT component, the outline of the collections and the evidence of remittance to the Federal Inland Revenue. Okay, this is, for example, okay, take this off. Don't let us even go to this one first. So, take this out, please. Don't let us go into this one yet. Just take it out.
That might be one of the leakages.
So, and then the gentleman to your left is already trying to revise what you have said on record, which I don't think is very good to do.
Okay, thank you so much, Chairman and honorable members. My colleague who is the head of operations was just trying to paint the picture of how these things are done. There are, just like I said, millions of transactions on this TSA with Remita, and many more with Remita, and many more for our 7 million customers. So if the House is insisting on showing evidence of the extraction of the VAT on these transactions, we'll make reasonable efforts to print the statement and show the House. It will be painstaking, no doubt, because it's digitized, but the House wants this information and will so oblige. Thank you, Chairman.
All right, thank you.